My name's Ian Anderson-Gray, and I'm really excited to have Adrian Salisbury on. How are you doing, Adrian?
Right. Very well, thanks. Great to be here.
It's great to have you. Yes, and we've only really just got to know each other very recently. So we chatted for the first time face to face on Zoom the other week, didn't we?
That's right.
Which is great.
But fun fact, and I think I mentioned this to you when we spoke the other week. Actually, you came on my radar 3 years ago, I think it was. And I can picture myself. I was sitting in a pool in Cyprus, kind of on the edge of the pool, listening to podcasts. And you came on Social Media and Examiner, and I thought, who is this Ian Anderson-Gray? I've got to look him up. And so, I'm the starstruck one here today, kind of going.
Oh well, that's very.
I'm with Ian.
That's very kind of you. But yeah, no, I mean, to be honest, I'm the same because I keep seeing you all over the place, particularly when it comes to Ecamm, because you're doing all this Ecamm Live Academy stuff, which is good. So for people who are watching, we'll give you another introduction once I start recording the podcast. But for people who've just joined us, so hello, if you've joined us somewhere. And I always say this, somewhere in the world. Well, obviously you're from somewhere in the world. Otherwise, that would be very intergalactic. This is the first ever intergalactic show. But let us know where in the world you're from. But for people who've just joined, tell us where you're from and a little bit of a background.
Yeah, certainly. Adrian Salisbury, as you can see, from here in the UK. It's nice, actually. I'm used to time zones and being all speaking to people from other sides of the world. But yeah, so... I mean, do you want me to tell you how I got into this, or particularly?
Well, wait, just a very brief one, because I'm going to ask you this again later.
You're going to ask me all again, and I'm going to thinking, I've just answered this one.
Yeah.
Now, I kind of got into video by accident. I was actually teaching photography and was putting a course online. People were saying, how come your videos look so good? You need to show us how to do this. And it made me, we're all entrepreneurial like that, aren't we? And I just thought, oh yeah, I could pivot here and do something a bit different, something that to me is quite easy. I wanted to help others with. So yeah, I haven't got a film school background or anything like that. I learned it myself, and I think that helps because I can keep things quite simple for people.
I think
which I know is something you're keen on as well, isn't it? I saw that in your bio really about making it simple. And
I do try to, but the inner geek in me sometimes gets the better of me, because we were talking about that just before. So so you're not calling in from Salisbury. That's your last name.
No,
where are you calling in from? That'd be quite amusing if you were Peterborough.
I know, Peterborough. I actually went. I remember staying down there a few years ago with work, signing into a hotel, and I was kind of writing Adrian Salisbury, and I was waiting for this big expression from a girl, but she didn't even bother. Oh.
That's very sad. Well, it's great.
No, Stonehenge isn't mine, I'm afraid.
No. Oh well, never mind. Anyways, great to have you. Great to have you on. We've got some lovely live people watching live, so I will say hello to them just after the little break. But yeah, today we're going to be talking about how to make your live videos look professional. And this is a subject that I'm really excited about because it's something that I've been thinking about a lot. I've been deliberately trying to improve the quality of my live videos slowly, because I'm a big believer in bootstrapping your live video studio, doing it slowly. But also I've had some technical problems over the time with cameras, which I'll probably share with you as we go through. And you can help me and help
totally
me, which is going to be great. But anyway, I think it's time to get on with the show. What do you think?
Yep.
I think it is. So let's do it. We'll see you just after this.
This is the Confident Live Marketing Podcast. Confident Live Marketing Podcast with Ian Anderson-Gray, helping entrepreneurs level up their impact, authority and profits through the power of live video. Gain confidence in front of the camera, confidence with technology, and confidence with the content and marketing.
Together, we can go live!
Hello, it's the Confident Live Marketing Show. My name's Ian Anderson-Gray. This is episode 39. And today we're going to be talking about how to make your live videos look professional. I've got Adrian Salisbury on the show, which I'm really excited to have him on to talk about all of this. But just first, before we get on with that, I just wanted to share with you that in a couple of weeks, I'm going to be going to Social Media Marketing World. In fact, Adrian is too. So it's just around the corner. This is my 6th year attending and my 5th year speaking. Really, really amazing conference based in San Diego. And my presentation is going to be on how to create a live video show, tips, tools, and techniques to succeed. So I'd love to know if you're going to Social Media Marketing World this year. Let me know. It'd be great to meet up there. If you haven't got your tickets, you're still not too late. You can still get those. And if San Diego is just too far away for you, then you can get virtual tickets. If you want to find out more, if you want to watch Social Media Marketing World in the comfort of your home, in your pajamas, all you need to do is go to iag.me/go/SMMW. That's iag.me/go/SMMW. And it'd be great to see you there. But it's also time to mention my first sponsor of the show, which is StreamYard. StreamYard is one of my top recommended live video tools as a web app. This runs within your browser. And because it runs within your browser, it works for both Mac and PC users. So there are other tools out there that will work specifically on either Mac or PC. This works on both. It's incredibly easy and simple to use. It has amazing features such as being able to highlight comments on the screen, being able to add your own titles, having up to 5 guests on your show without any extra software, being able to share your screen, add your own brand colors. You can stream to Facebook, Periscope, LinkedIn Live, and YouTube. And you can also use green screens. And all of that's on the free version, which is awesome. The paid version gives you even more features, including being able to add your own logo, overlays, backgrounds, videos, and multicasting to up to 5 destinations. So you could go to LinkedIn Live, YouTube, and Facebook all at the same time. Now, StreamYard have got a great deal for Confident Live marketing viewers and listeners. You get a 30-day trial and a 16% discount on annual plans. So if you want to have a little play, all you need to do is go to iag.me/StreamYard. That's iag.me/StreamYard. And I thank you, StreamYard, for sponsoring the show. So it's time to get Adrian onto the show. Adrian Salisbury is the guy who makes professional looking video easy. Through his online training, Adrian works with solo entrepreneurs around the world, helping them to look and feel their absolute best on camera. Adrian, it's great to have you on the show.
Hey, good to be here, Ian. Thank you. I just realised, actually, I just looked at that profile picture there and I'm in the same shirt. I do have other clothes on it.
Oh, well, yes. Yeah, it looks like you're not wearing... Are you wearing a T-shirt in that one? Are you wearing a T-shirt now?
I'm not in that one, no. That's right. It's a bit colder at the minute, so it must have been in the summer I took that photo.
It is a bit chilly. It is a bit chilly in the UK, but we're coping. I just wanted, before I kind of... we get into stuff. We've got some lovely viewers. So watching the show live. So we've got Katie Fawkes is here. I think we both know Katie. It's great to have you, Katie, watching on YouTube. We've got Carrie Ray is here saying good morning, fellas. Mark Orr say afternoon, gents. 2 of my favorite live streamers together, which is great. Carrie's from Cleveland, Ohio, and Katie is from North Andover, Massachusetts. So great to have you.
Wonderful.
Yeah, Katie's saying she can't attend. No. So Carrie says she can't attend, but Katie's going to Social Media Marketing World, which is great. And we've also got somebody watching on Periscope. This is, I can't actually read the name on that. Is it Singnista? Greetings from Germany. So great to have you all there. We're all very worldwide, not intergalactic, as I was mentioning before we started, but certainly worldwide, which is great. So you're dialing in from Peterborough, aren't you, in the UK?
That's right. Yes, but an hour north of London. I have to explain it to people by.
Yes, that's true. Yes, there is life outside of London in the UK, isn't there?
I know, but it's amazing how many people come to England and don't get outside of London. I visited England, the UK, and all they did was go around London, and you think there's so much outside. So yeah, I'm trying to pull people out whenever they come.
Yeah, absolutely, definitely, it's got to happen. But anyway, it's time to start the quiz, the Confident Live quiz. So you know all about this. I did mention we were going to have this, although you do not know the questions. So
I don't. No, I was just thinking I didn't see questions.
So these are some very simple questions, just so that we can get to know you. So are you ready?
I am.
Okay, so here is the first question. What is your favorite type of food?
Indian.
You're my man. Indian is my favorite food.
Is that the correct answer?
It is the correct answer.
Can I get it wrong then?
No, you can't. You can't. No, it's good. Well, I have got another sound effect, which is that one. But yeah, if you had to choose a particular Indian dish, what would it be?
Well, at my local restaurant, they've got this new speciality one. It's called their railway curry. That's it's really, and it's actually got lamb pieces that are all on the bone inside. So it's, I don't know. Yeah, really nice curry. So I'm actually taking my daughter there on Valentine's. We started a tradition probably about 10 or 11 years ago. She's 23 now, and I still take her out for Valentine's. So we're heading there, and that's what I'll be having on Friday night.
I love that idea. I hope I can.
My
take
poor
my
wife stays at home, bless her. She's very happy to do so. It was her idea in the first place, so I blame her.
That's really sweet. I like that. I definitely love to do that with my daughter. You're never too old for that kind of thing. Okay. So next question. I think I know the answer to this. Mac or PC?
Oh, Mac.
Yeah, we've had quite a few boths recently. We had a PC user last week, which was great. Great to have diversify things. But yeah, being a creative and
I'm totally lost on a PC now. It's bizarre how different they feel. Totally Mac.
Oh well, there we go. That's great. Okay, so next question. Your favorite kind of music?
Ooh, I actually like a bit of cheesy pop music to get me going, and my playlist. Yeah,
cheesy pop, like that. Yeah. You can't beat a bit of cheesy pop.
That's right.
Yeah. Any particular era? Would you say 70s, 80s?
I do love the 80s. We did a quiz. My kids can't get over how good I am at a quiz. You just with that first few seconds, and I know every song. I'm definitely an 80s geek. Yeah.
I'm impressed with that. Yeah, 80s. Yeah, 80s and 90s. I'm quite into those.
Yeah.
Right. Next question. This is a difficult one. Okay, you ready for this? If you had to choose, which one would it be? Would it be a banana or a Krispy Kreme donut?
Oh dear. Definitely not the banana. Although I should be saying that I'm actually trying to lose some weight, ready for social media marketing world. So right now I ought to say the banana, but definitely not what I would prefer.
Yeah, well, if you're going to go to social media marketing world and go to San Diego, you're not looking to lose weight. That's all I'm going to say. Oh my goodness, yes, the portion sizes are something to behold.
Oh, really? Have you ever had anybody say banana in that question?
Yes, I have. Yeah, at least a couple of times. Yeah. Although some people just don't like either. So there we go. Not to make you feel guilty or anything, but Okay, next question. Favorite kids TV program?
What, from me or what my kids?
No, you. What would you say?
Dear, my favorite kids TV. Oh, yikes. I can picture it. I can't think of it.
Put you on the spot.
Totally.
Is it a cartoon?
Cartoon, yeah, definitely a kid's cartoon.
Well, look, I tell you what,
kind of thing.
If you remember, what's going to happen.
Disney films.
You're going to remember later on. You'll let us know, and I'll put it in. So
I know. I'll be laying in bed tonight and remember it. Yeah.
I know. I'm sorry. Sorry to put you through that turmoil. Okay, we're nearly there. So, next question. Who is your favorite classical composer? We've had cheesy pop to classical composer.
You've definitely got the wrong person on here. I don't think any of them would make my favourites, I'm afraid.
We definitely need one of those. That sound effect. That's okay. That's cool. Okay, and then the final one, which if you are a geek, you'll love this question, which is your favorite app. If you had to choose one app, what would it be?
Ecamm Live.
Ecamm Live. I like that.
Kajabi and Ecamm Live are two things I could not do without. But I wouldn't call Kajabi an app particularly.
Well, we'll give you that. that. So. Anyway, that's great. Well, thank you.
Did I make it through to the next round?
You did. You made it right. You made it through. So, just looking at the comments again. So, I mispronounced the name here. It is Sing and Sister. Singing Sister is the name. So from Germany. So great to have you here. And we've got Dempsey, Vice and Associates. Janet here. Great to meet you guys from New Jersey. We've got, who else is here? So Werner Puchet says, Adrian is a legend in Poland.
Oh, really?
So there you go. Apparently you are a legend.
A legend.
So,
like it. Well, thank you very much.
So there we go. Mark says not hearing my special effects. That's a shame. We're not hearing any of these. No, that is true. It's not coming through. That's really annoying. Why could that be?
Sound levels overlay.
Yeah, let's have a look. Let's have a look at the tech. Can you help me here? What should I be looking for?
You need to be looking on the sound levels tab, and your sound effects are probably muted.
No, they're not. That's really strange. So
try it and see if you can see the green line go along when you press it.
1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3. Actually, nothing's happening at all. That's weird. Never mind. We'll cope. The technology's been going really, really well so far.
Mark, you can hear us though, yeah?
You can hear us. So there we go.
Yeah.
That's annoying. Anyway, yeah, we've also got LinkedIn. We've got LinkedIn Live, so people are watching on LinkedIn Live. We've got Brian Schulman's here. So yeah, episode 39, Social Media Marketing World. And I think are you from Social Media Marketing World? I'm not sure. Are you from San Diego is what I meant to say, not Social Media Marketing World. But anyway, there we go. I think it's time to get on and ask you some questions. So you talked a little bit about this before we started, but how did you see? You started off as a photographer. How did you kind of get into what you're doing now? Can you give us a bit of a potted history?
I've always enjoyed teaching and helping people, and I would be, I'd be on holiday and watching somebody awkwardly with their camera trying to take a photo, and everything in me wanted to go over to them and just go, "Can I help you with that?" So I started teaching photography. Used to do it in person, and then wanted to create an online course, which meant I had to make videos. And actually, I joined, James Wedmore, Business by Design. I joined his program to sell this or promote this photography course. And very quickly, people were going, "How are you doing your videos? You really stand out on video. What's going on? You need to show us how to do this." And so I quickly pivoted and kind of put the photography course on hold. It's still there somewhere, and started teaching. So only 2.5, nearly 3 years ago, I guess, was when this was happening. Just really teaching what I know. So no film background, haven't been making movies and things like that. But I think that helps actually. And I think people resonate with that because I'm not talking overly technical to them. I'm able to keep things simple, and they can, a lot of people have said to me on my YouTube videos, your videos, I just get them. I understand them. You talk my language rather than it being, I need to go off and Google what you're talking about. Yeah,
I think that's really important, isn't it? Because I've seen so many videos out there, so much content out there that is aimed at the geeks and goes into so much technical detail, which, there's a place for that. But there's a lot of people out there that just want to know, like, how do I switch my camera on, or how do I get better lighting? And they're not interested in, I don't know, technical things like color temperature. Not that, I don't even know what that is really, apart from what the color. Anyway, you can tell me about that later. But
I can demonstrate it in
I'm sure you can. But you can get onto those geeky things later on. But to begin with, people just, the title of this show today is how to make your live videos look professional. We've not said how to get the color temperature exactly 2,500 Kelvin or whatever that means. I don't know if I'm using the right terminology there. So that's important, isn't it? So when it comes to video or live video, you've obviously done a lot of it, but so I always like to ask people this question, my guests on the show. Do you still get nervous doing it, getting in front of the camera? And have you got any tips for people when it comes to the whole nerves thing, the fear of getting in front of the camera?
Yeah. More and more, I've started out through YouTube really, and I'm very passionate about YouTube. I love to make how-to videos and really, I've been the other side of it, so I'm enjoying making them back now. I don't have any nerves putting together a YouTube video because at the end of the day, I'm sitting here in a room on my own. I'm totally in control. I'm recording it If I don't like it, I can delete it. I don't find it any harder than standing in front of a mirror and talking to myself. So not on that level. Take it to a live, and yes, it's different. Certainly coming on as a guest where this isn't so bad because we know what we're talking about, but it's more that feeling out of control that I'm not so good at. If I'm doing a live and my tips really is about preparing, and getting everything ready in advance. If I'm doing a webinar or I'm doing a Facebook Live or something, in Ecamm, I've got all my scenes ready to go. I've got my notes in front of me. I've checked all the text working, and all that preparation just, eliminates really as much as possible things that can go wrong.
Yeah.
Although having said that, my very first webinar, I thought I was being really clever by turning off some of the things in the house that were on the Wi-Fi at the time. And without realizing it, I unplugged the router. And so after all this big launch that I'd done, I started a webinar, and literally about 2 minutes in, the whole lot just died on me.
Oh.
And I could have cried. I ended up going round to my father-in-law's house. I'm sort of saying to people, hang on, I'll come back. I literally jumped in the car, drove round to my father-in-law's house, plugged into the internet there, and about 10 minutes later was up and did the webinar. And actually, people loved it. It was the fact that you would do that.
Yeah. Well, sometimes when the tech disasters happen, often when the tech disasters happen, we learn from those experiences. But also, and this is going to be one thing I want to ask you. We've been talking a lot about embracing the flaws and when things don't go quite so well and stuff. So actually, when things go wrong, it's not the end of the world. It actually can be quite fun as well.
Yeah.
Well, maybe not at the time, but
no. But it's the best way to learn, and I've just been saying this, in this Ecamm Academy to people. You actually want it to go wrong because that's what you learn from. And all of a sudden, a notification goes off on your screen while you're screen sharing. Next time around, you're going to make sure that you turn your do not disturb on and things like that. And so you've almost got to learn that way.
Yeah, I think you're right. A lot of people are asking me, so what software am I using? Am I using Ecamm Live? Am I using StreamYard? I'm actually using both because this is kind of who I am. I like to test all the different live video tools out there. And, so yes, I'm using both at the same time, which is not necessarily to be recommended. I'm a big fan of keeping things simple, except when it comes to myself. And I'm a complete hypocrite. So you've kind of mentioned one disaster. Are there any other disasters that you've had where, particularly with live video, and what did you learn from them? Because I think, you're totally right about learning from those experiences. And actually, I would say if you haven't had any disasters, you're probably not
pushing it.
You're not pushing it, and you probably need to be doing it more regularly. Would you agree with that?
Yes. Yeah. I've had loads of things go wrong. Mostly usually down to microphones not being on or something like that. But again, I end up with post-it notes all around my screen. So make sure the mic's turned on. And these little things like that can actually ruin a recording. And I did one, there's a setting inside Ecamm Live that does this echo cancellation. And there's a way that I can mess it up so that it won't let me do echo cancellation on it. And I'd got a guest on who was doing me this glowing testimonial. Someone said there's an echo, and when I looked at it and realized what was going on, it was too late. And when I listened back to the recording, I can't use this thing. So there's been a few real clangers like that. And here's me supposed to be talking about pro video, and even more you feel the pressure to get it right. But like I said earlier, you've got to go through that because you can't foresee it until it happens. And I can say to somebody, check your microphones and make sure you don't have notifications on and things like that. But until they've actually been in there and it's all fallen apart and they've had that, they won't remember it.
Yeah, that's so true. And, I'm still learning things today, and I'm sure you are too. Things like, I'm still trying to work out the best setup for me and making sure that everything's working. So we had a few technical issues with getting the sync, with the sound effects and things like that. Mark Orr was saying that you're slightly out of sync with the audio, so I think that's something that I need to sort out as well. So because there's always all these little things. And
I can see that my connection on your screen, how much my connection's dropped here, but I'm hooked in with an Ethernet. We rely so much on the internet, don't we?
Yeah. So it's quite funny, really. We're talking about, producing professional looking videos, but at the end of the day, there's still things that are going to go wrong, even if you sort out your internet and you have a nice checklist in front of you. There's still the possibility that things will go wrong. And I've had the situation where we had a lightning strike, and I was doing a big webinar, really important webinar, and the internet went down. There was nothing I could do about it.
No.
So
yeah, I don't quite know why that seems to be so low on there.
Well, do
at the hands of the internet.
Is there any? And do you think it would be a good idea for you to kind of stop and then dial back in again, or what's the best thing to do? We could try that.
I think so.
These things happen.
I'm trying to sit still. Actually, I mean, that's as silly as it sounds. The more movement there is going on, the more that it's eating into the bandwidth.
Yeah.
But yes, I'm feeling slightly embarrassed that I'm talking about pro video, and there's like
no worries at all. It happens. Yeah, because unfortunately your audio's gone a bit as well.
Has it really?
Oh no! Oh, speak again.
Yeah.
Oh, it's come back.
How bizarre. I haven't touched a thing here, and like I say, I'm on an Ethernet connection. There's nobody else in the house, so it's not like the kids are playing on the Xbox upstairs.
No, it's going. Yeah, your picture's coming back, and all is good. So there we go.
Oh, breathe again. You said about. Do you want to ask me that question about disasters on lives again?
Yeah. Let's move on. It's all going well. So yeah. So Miora says tech disaster can be a mess sometimes and frustrating. Yeah, it can be frustrating, but the thing is, it happens to all of us. It's happening to us a little bit on this show, but it doesn't matter at the end of the day, because I think we could all identify with that. So thanks for that.
Another reason to pre-record videos, actually.
yeah, exactly. Oh, Fiona Lucas is here, so she's saying the joys of lives. So there we go. So yeah, so I want to ask you this. We before we kind of get on with, so I know you've got some really cool things to share with us, but
hopefully,
you do. I know you do. So we've talked a lot about we've had some guests on the show recently talking about being real, being authentic, and embracing the flaws. When it comes to live video, and a lot of people are fed up with the slick marketing videos. So I wanted to ask you, we all want to produce professional looking videos, but is that actually what people want? What's the point? What's the advantage in making our videos look professional? I mean, I know your camera and your background look amazing, but does that actually make a difference in the long term?
Yeah, absolutely. I believe so. I get, and in fact, Ian, when we got on the call a few weeks back, the first thing you said was, wow, you look really good on that. Your backdrop looks good, the camera. And that's what I get all the time, except at the minute when this internet's playing me up. But play with me here. This is the impact that it has. And I can turn upon a light. This is why I first got into this, was people going, how come your videos look so good? I'll do a YouTube video. I've been in groups where I'm talking and the comments are going, what camera are you using and what you're doing? So people are interested in it and they do want it. And I just think it helps you to stand out. There's so many people are making videos now that I reckon to stand out and really be seen as an authority and an expert. This to me is a very quick way to just catch someone's attention, and it doesn't need to be hard and complicated to get to it. On the flip side of it, honestly, I watched probably 6 months ago now. I was expectant. I won't say who it is, but I was excited to see this interview that I was going to watch. And this guest came on, and she's there in front of this big window, really bad lighting coming over her. And I can only imagine she licked the lens that she was looking through, because it was honestly, I'd never seen anything like it. You'd have thought the microphone was the other end of the room. There's a dog yapping, and I couldn't listen to it. And I thought she'd probably got some great content to share, but I couldn't. I was totally put off by just this. And if that's being kind of real and raw, then I'm not convinced. So I think it's not so much about professional in the sense of, a newsreader style, and it's just trying to be your absolute best. And Ian, you would say the same. If we showed up, if I was meeting someone as a one-to-one meeting, I'd think about what I was going to wear. I'd make sure that I'd got my laptop ready and got a presentation ready and things. I'd probably think about where we were going to meet actually as well.
Yeah.
You do put that in because that first impression's so powerful. I wouldn't turn up in me trucky bottoms and with a laptop that's just about to die on me, and I think it's that same. So yes, I absolutely, and I hope that I come across, if you meet me, when you meet me at social media marketing world, I hope that you'll say, actually, you're exactly the same as you was on video. To me, that's how you still be transparent and authentic. But actually, what somebody said to me once, actually, one of my customers said, when I watch you, because I can flick across, I can show you here, actually. He says, when I watch you on your webcam, which is what you're looking at here, he said, I feel like I'm watching a video. But he said, when I see you through the camera, it's like you're there in front of me. And I thought, brilliant. Capture that as a line to use, really, because it is that. It's getting it. We're all about building know, like, and trust with people. And if we can make this feel as natural and real in front of them, then it's really just high quality, maybe more than professional.
Yeah, I like that. Yeah, and I like what you said about standing out, because I think there's so much attention being sucked away from us, on social media and all these channels, YouTube and everything. It's that to actually stand out is really, really hard. We had who did we have? We had David Bain on the show quite a few weeks ago talking about how to create marathon live shows, and he felt that doing 4-hour 8-hour shows was one way to stand out, definitely, because there's not that many people doing that, but also just making sure that your videos look professional, and also making sure that the quality of what you're saying, you're actually delivering value as well. But in this episode, we're going to be focusing on the look and the visuals, aren't we? So I know that you said to me before that there are 3 main parts to making your live videos look professional. Can you share with us what those 3 are, and then we can maybe focus on the first?
Yes, very simple. Your set, meaning what this is that's going on behind you, really, and where you're filming, your equipment, and yourself.
Like that. So we can focus on that first one, the set. And if you're watching live or watching the replay, or indeed listening to the podcast, let us know maybe what you're using in terms of your set. Are you using a particular camera, microphone? What's been your experience? I'd love to know from you, because I've had my experience, not always good. So so where would you start when it comes to the set? Because set to me sounds, I don't know, TV studio, like studio lighting and all this kind of stuff.
I use it because I can't think of a better word, really. The place where you film. It can be a bedroom, and actually I'm going to show you, if that's all right. I know the podcast listeners won't be able to benefit from it, but I can show you a couple of behind the scenes shots of where some of my customers are actually working. Well,
we can describe these to our listeners, of course, so that's fine.
Absolutely. Or maybe you put a link that they can come over and watch it as the video as well, if they're really kind of sitting in their car going, I want to see this. Let me show you on here then. So, for example, sorry, actually, these are going to be the wrong ones. Just a second. I've got some set up for. I'll jump over to here, but then I'm going to change this slide over actually to this one. So this is Sabina, one of my customers, and you could look at this, and I'll move over here. You could look at this and think, wow, she's got this amazing studio that she's recording in here. I could get going if I did that, but I'll wait until I've moved and got a studio. Well, this is actually where Sabina is filming. And I love this. And I use this example all the time because so many people, use that as an excuse. You mentioned earlier about procrastinating and putting it off because they haven't got the tech. Well, equally so, people say they haven't got the space to do it. But here's Sabina in a spare bedroom. Her camera, those of you that can't see this, we're just showing a picture here of Sabina's spare bedroom. She's got her tripod up on a bit of board on the end of the bed and a couple of lights. And her set is really based on one of these vinyl backdrops that you can put behind you. And it just gives an amazing impression. Adam has become a good friend of mine through the academy here. Adam sent me this because he just moved house at this point, but he needed to get some videos going. And again, he just sent me this picture afterwards and said, I've got to let you see what's going on here. And this is him in his room. Literally, his camera's there on a tripod in the middle, and there's all these moving boxes and things all laying around. Again, it doesn't matter because nobody sees it when you all that matters is what's going on for this kind of 2 meter space right behind your head. I've got another one just here. We'll leave it on this one. So you could look at John here and think, actually, he's got this brick wall going on behind him. It looks very similar to mine, actually. But I love this because Ian, you would kind of resonate with this. This is just a UK typical garage at home with lots of. Well, I don't mean that your garage is like this, but in terms of the space,
mine's worse. Mine's worse than this.
But he said to me, I've got a brick wall like that. I could use that. And he literally shoved everything up the other end of his garage here so that he'd got a bit of space to filming. And I just love to show these examples just to say to people, look, you don't need this fancy set. You don't need to be in a studio. Actually, if you can just clear it, doesn't matter if there's boxes and beds and all sorts laying around over there, as long as this bit behind you is, you've thought about it and you've actually considered what is going on in this. Does it add to your story? Does it complement you? Or is it distracting and making people go, has he really got that behind? You know, what's that over there?
Yeah. That's really helpful. So you don't have to have like a proper studio. Well, these are their proper studios, but I think in our minds we can build up that we can only start our live video shows or any kind of videos until we have a proper studio. And you've just shown us that you can make do with what you've got. You know, one of the things that I'd love to actually show, maybe in my next video show, I'll actually show where I'm filming from. And it's a spare bedroom stroke office. And just because of the situation that we're in, I actually decided, you know what, I'm just going to use a green screen. Although green screens you've got to get the lighting right. But actually, my background is actually really boring. It's either that or a very messy bookcase. And so that's what I've done. So there are other situations, you know, you could use a green screen, I suppose.
Yes, absolutely. And I've been having, again, in the Ecamm Academy just a few weeks ago, you know, we were doing this and loads of people were going out and getting green screens. They were going off to, forgotten the name of the site now. I'm not doing very well, am I? You can just get these download. You can get images and things just as backgrounds. You can actually put video up behind you now.
Not
just
deposit photos or something.
No,
like that? Yeah, it'll come back to you. We'll put it in the show notes later. It's just one of those days.
It is. What's it called? It doesn't matter. Yeah, there's loads of sites you can go to, but it's just a free stock image site that you can go to, download images. But it's about trying to get
Pexels,
Unsplash. There you go.
There we go. We got there in the end.
I'd got another brand going through my head, but it's trying to get that green screen right so it's shot at the right angle, for instance, and because quite often the photo might have been shot from above and then you're sitting there straight on, and the proportions look weird. It doesn't work. I had a great one. One of my customers, I haven't got it here to show actually, but one of my customers recently came up with one that was like paneled boards, but it was just the right size. You know, it looked like it was there behind it because the proportion was right. So there's a few things to look at, but you can easily just pull them in and try them.
Yeah. No, I love that.
But as you say, it's so easy now, isn't it, to be able to bring that green screen in a lot of these programs.
And these things don't need to be expensive. I mean, the green screen I've got the Elgato one. It's not cheap, but it's over £100 or $100. Yeah. But when you think about how much it would cost to like
Yes.
do other things in the place. And yeah, sometimes the low tech is what you need to focus on. Like, for example, I've got a very state of the art standing desk that I use for all my live streams. And it basically is 4 box files, and I put my laptop on top. But the great thing is it's adjustable. The height I just take one box file out and it goes a bit lower. It's great.
Well, I'm a step on from I got from IKEA one of these standing desks. But it's a little handle thing down here, so I have to kind of do this. But it does lift up and down, partly because I did a lot of tutorial videos where I wanted the desk to be more at a worktop height, so I use it for that. But actually, it allows me like this to be able to. One of the things if I wind this up a bit, you'll see my monitor starting to come in at the bottom of the screen there.
Oh yeah, yes.
So it allows me to put my desk lower than I would use it normally, so that my camera can stay at eye level, and just keep the monitor below it.
Yeah.
Which it makes it very easy. So actually, my camera is literally on the tripod, just the other side of my computer here, really no higher than a webcam would be if it was perched on the top.
And that's obviously really important, because what you don't want is when you're looking at your guest, you're not looking at the camera, and it can look very disconcerting, which is not so good. Well, that's cool. So yeah, let me know if you're watching or listening, what you use for your set. Where are you streaming from? Because I'd love to know that. We've got a few comments about tech, which I know we're going to come on to in a bit, but it's time to mention our second sponsor, which is Content 10X. And Content 10X are experts in content repurposing. They've been sponsoring this podcast and show pretty much from the beginning, and I'm really thankful to them. And it's a great fit because live video is a great format to repurpose your content with. Once you press that end broadcast button, once you've done your live video, you can then turn it into a plethora of different content, whether that's a podcast, which is what I do, or videos on YouTube, or social media images, that kind of thing. And Content 10X, they basically offer a full end-to-end content repurposing service. So yeah, they could turn your live show into a blog post, which is great for SEO and traffic, podcast episodes, videos, social media images. And this helps you reach new audiences and, of course, saves you time so you can focus on building your business. So you can either use their service, which is amazing, or if you want to find out how to do that yourself, just go to content10x.com. They've got an amazing blog packed with information on all things content repurposing. They've got a podcast, and now they've got a book as well, Content 10x book. So check them out. Go to content10x.com. And I thank you so much, Amy and the team, for sponsoring this podcast. So you're back. I am now going to focus on the second, which I think you said was equipment. So this is where a lot of people get excited about. Just before we do that, Carrie's saying, I find videos to use for background so much fun. And yes, I found one of me that found one where it looks like I'm flying through space. I'm not sure how practical that is, but
I did a really fun one actually. Again, well, I haven't got the green screen ready behind me, but I recorded. So I did a video clip here. So it just looked like it was my wall going on behind. And I just came in at the side and kind of did this wave and then disappeared off again. So I'd slip it in as the green screen here. I'm talking away, and then there's me comes in behind. And so you can have a lot of fun with it.
Yeah, definitely. So yeah, so we need to talk about equipment. We've got some Fiona Lucas. So I'll just bring in what Fiona's been saying, what she uses. So in terms of a microphone, she uses the Yeti Pro. She uses the Logitech Brio webcam, ring lights, and she uses StreamYard or Zoom for the live streaming. But she's also asking a question about the best lighting for green screen. I was talking earlier that I think lighting's really important, although I think the camera, I think you're going to tell us all about the cameras as well, which I'm really excited about. So she was saying, I have the same green screen that Ian has, but I need it pretty close to me. But the fluffing, waving edges around my hair are so annoying. I found the green screen option in Ecamm is amazing, and that really helps. But camera is important too. So yeah, tell us all, Adrian. We need help.
Yeah, and I know you've touched on. I think when we originally connected, actually months back, I think on Ecamm, just in a chat really, you were saying about lighting being something you're interested in. I would actually say that the camera is more important than the lighting. And actually, I've just scripted. I was about to record before I came on here a little walk around my studio to sort of talk through my equipment. I'll record that later on. But I'm saying I used two fairly small LED panel lights. And what I did, Ian, I'm very happy. I've got an equipment list here that shows all of the kit that I have with links to various Amazon stores. If people are interested at the end, we could make that available. The lighting, I'm going for, with my lighting, rather than these, typically people get these sort of softbox kits with the corkscrew bulbs in there, and it's a fixed color coming through, and it can actually make you look very pink or even kind of a purpley cast coming through, because the color isn't matching the lights and the ambient light coming into your room. So I choose these ones that have a variable color temperature on them. And actually the ones I've got a remote control that I can work from here, so I can actually sit here and I can adjust the lighting on them, which is brilliant when I'm working with a student and I can see it's really hot looking and I need to take that down. So these are the lights that I'm recommending in here, and they're not a lot, they're not silly money. $220 is for two of these on their stands. So great little lights, but definitely, I rarely take these over 40% power. They're not doing a lot. I'm all about trying to use the ambient light that's already in your room, and would be saying, if you've got light that you can work in anyway, so that you could write in it, you could work at your computer in this night, it's not like being in the dark, then actually leave those lights on and balance these video lights to match the color of those, so it creates this very natural look, and you're not getting this warm look going on behind while you've got a cool look coming in on the front. So this is where your color temperature comes in. And while I wouldn't geek out on it in that sense, I do think it's important to try and match this in, and you can only do that when you get lights that have got a color temperature setting. Ring lights, I've got a video somewhere where I'm really slagging off ring lights, I'm afraid. Not so much because of what they are and what they do, but I think there is this there's a pattern of entrepreneurs that just kind of stick a ring light in front of them and think that's going to be all that's needed. And it's not much different to having that photo taken when you've got a flash coming straight at you. They aren't designed to be the only light that you have. They're a fill light that's designed to sort of take out shadows and things based on other lights that are coming in. And certainly if you're a glasses wearer, you can't have those things in front of you because they're just going to have this ring around your eyes. Yeah. But you don't get ring lights that have a color temperature, variable temperature on them. So for that reason, I'm kind of dismissing them.
Well, do you think ring lights are like a quick and easy option for some people who are, certainly for if you're not wearing glasses?
Yeah.
I mean, I avoid ring lights because I wear glasses and they just don't work for me. But I've seen some people get away with it. Maybe I don't know. Maybe they've had a good experience. But
to be honest, I mean, if you wear glasses, any light in front of you, whether it's a ring light or a rectangular one sitting on top of the camera, is going to come back into your glasses. I try to position mine. Again, I've got a video on YouTube talking about how to position lights if you wear glasses, but just putting them higher and out to the side, so hopefully they're not really being caught in the reflection. Yes, there is that kind of quick setup, but again, my whole thing really is, and I started doing this when I was just scripting out this video for going around my studio, and I know I should be saying just get going with what you've got, but honestly, I think there is such an impact and it's such a difference when you do show up with, I say professional, you know what I'm saying, a high quality lighting and cameras and things. I would encourage people to get going with this kit, make the investment and actually start doing it as soon as possible. And what I've seen people doing actually, and I meant to mention this earlier on, is actually customers that I'm talking to that will go, actually, now I've seen how good I can look, it's actually really helped my confidence and I'm excited to be making videos. I didn't know I could look this good on video. So I think there's that element as well. That's not only, what your audience think to you and that their perception of you, but you just, it really helps your confidence when you send. It's like getting a photo shoot done, isn't it? You can, as a photographer, there's plenty of people that I've spoken to that have said to me, "Oh, sorry, I don't do photos. I don't take a good photo." And then I'll catch something and I go, "Oh, that's really nice. Actually, could you send that to me?" So actually, we like to look good on a photo, and it's the same with video. So this is my whole thing really with this pushing people to. I mean, I'm talking investment. It's about $1,200 is really all the kit that I've got around me here. So it's not silly money. Buy it once, and then every video is going to look like it. You won't be looking back in 6 months going, but those videos look really bad now.
Yeah. Well, so if you want to know the link, I'll be putting this. I've actually put it in the live show notes. But if you go to iag.me/39, it will be there. So yeah, do check that out, and because you've produced this really amazing equipment list. Just before we go on, I just want to say Kelly Barder's here, so she's just saying two of my awesome friends. Great to have you here, and great to have you, Kelly. She was one of my first ever guests on the show, which was great.
Oh, really?
And Fiona Lucas shares a lovely story. She was on a live stream the other day. This is on LinkedIn, and the gas lift on my chair started to release. I was slowly sinking, which is great. And she says, I have two ring lights on each side of me, and mine do have a variable temperature. So that's an interesting one.
Okay. Interesting. Yeah, I didn't realize they did. I know you can get like a yellow filter that goes over it. Yes. I mean, whether it's a square or it's a circle, it's giving out light. My problem with ring lights, as I say, is it's the kit with the phone holder in the middle of it, and people just go, right, I can get going with that. And there's this dark room going on behind them while they're trying, and if they try and turn it up, then they get totally blown out before it gets to the back. And so it's knowing how to use them.
Yeah, that's cool. So we've talked about the set and we've talked about lighting, but we haven't really talked about cameras yet. We've had quite a few people talking about what they're using. So we've got Mark also says he uses Sony NEX EA50. He's using a Windows PC, softboxes, green screen, Sennheiser mic 600, and vMix, which is very scary. Wow. But it's a great piece of kit if you're
a braver man than me.
Yeah. Stefan Thompson earlier said he uses a Canon 700D, a Mac, 4 lights, green screen, which is great. And I think on LinkedIn, somebody mentioned something what they're using. Oh yeah, that was Fiona. So she was using Yeti Pro, Logitech Brio, ring light, StreamYard, or Zoom. So yeah, help us with cameras.
Yeah. Well, Ian, remind me, was it the M50 that you mentioned you were looking at recently?
Yeah, so a lot of people have been recommending and using the M50. It's used a lot by YouTubers, and it works really well with a lot of the software. So is that one there you're just showing up?
It is, yeah. I've got now 3 customers who have got this camera. So I'm trying to say, well, you should have a menu that says this, and I thought I just need to buy one. So I got one. Now, this is the photographer in me. I know that the money is in the lenses, and so it's more about. I remember my brother when he asked me years ago which camera should he get, and I said, come down a model in the camera and get a better lens. And definitely, so I'm all Panasonic, I'm afraid. And I'll explain why in a second. But I use this, you'll see on this list, a Panasonic G7 and a prime lens on the front of it, which allows me to get, I'm as close as this to my camera, but it does this wonderful job of blurring out the background, and it doesn't do any distortion. It's not a wide angle that's making the edges go funny. So I got hold of this Canon one, slightly worried actually, thinking, what if after telling people for years, this G7's the one to get, and they've all just gone out and bought it, and now I go, actually, I've changed my mind, there's a new camera in town. I like this camera, definitely. There are features on it to do with the focusing and the tracking, but it's not ticking all the boxes. It's not doing what my G7 is. Things like, I can't get rid of the marker. There is no way of getting rid of the marker if you're going to do this live tracking. So, one of the big pluses people talk about is as I move in and out, it will follow me and stay in focus. I can't get rid of that using HDMI. Now I can if I use USB and go into Ecamm. Partly saying this for you, Ian, because I know you're an Ecamm user, and so there is a way around it doing that. What it doesn't do is take the audio across it. So with me, I've got a Rode mic sitting on the top of my camera that's on an arm leaning forward. And so my audio goes into the camera and that one HDMI feed comes out, and that's the audio that you're hearing that comes through. Now this Canon won't do it, and even over HDMI, it doesn't carry audio over the HDMI lead. So I need to have a USB mic. So again, there are workarounds with all of it. I can plug a cable into my Mac that's got a mic and a headphone input on there, so I can kind of trick it and plug, something like that Rode Go mic or something like that into it. But again, it's all just hassle to me, and then you get problems. Then you need to sort this delay out because your audio is coming in faster than your feed. So I still love this Panasonic. It does everything that I want it to do. And I mean, I just bought another one, £190 I just paid for it, body only. So seriously affordable.
So this is the Panasonic G7 you're talking about.
G7,
yeah. And so it's definitely worth checking out all of these options. I mean, a lot of people talk about the Canon M50, and of course, there are even cheaper options such as the webcams. But would you say that getting a digital SLR or mirrorless camera, really, that's where you really do get that professional look, and particularly focusing on the lens? I'd love you to share a little bit more about the lenses. Do we go with the lens that comes with these things, or do we get a prime lens? And also, you probably want to explain a little bit to our viewers and listeners, because not everyone's going to understand. You're talking about HDMI and then USB and also there's this whole thing of the clean. Some cameras have what's called a clean HDMI output and some don't, and so you might want to explain that as well, because that's I mean, I've looked a lot into this and it still kind of like wrecks my brain.
It's good. So first of all, lenses. I would buy, let me just take these headphones off and grab this. I'm attached to the headphones. This is what I bought the other day. So I've got one that's recording now. So this is my G7, and as you can see, there's no lens on it. Well, you can't see if you're on a podcast, but there's no lens on this. You can buy them body only, secondhand, because what you find is people get nice lenses and then they upgrade the bodies, but the lens will then go on to the next one. So this is what I bought for under £200, and this actually is a US one as well. So this would work for our American audience as well. So I would get it's called a prime lens, and what it's doing is you have no zoom on it. There isn't the lens that comes with it. You can zoom it in and out. You can set it at a distance, but there is a trade-off for that. You buy a prime lens, which is set at a different zoom distance, and because it's working that way, they can do a lot more with the glass. They can actually, the aperture, so basically the hole that the light is coming through from the lens can be wider, which will let more light in, which is partly why I don't need to have my lights on so high, because my lenses are letting a lot more light come into the camera than it would do if I'd use the kit lens that comes with it when I buy it. So I say to my customers almost to box that lens that comes with it, because you won't use it for this. Get a prime lens. So on this Panasonic, it's a 20mm prime. And as I say, so you could get more of a zoom, but it just means you've got to push that camera further away from you. So the fact that I've got it here and I can work like this, I can literally reach across and touch and focus on the screen flipped out at the side of me here. I did the same thing with this Canon, and I bought their 22mm lens that's on this, which is almost the equivalent of a 35mm. And I just did a quick test into my group and put the two side by side. Very similar quality coming in on both of them. So the Panasonic isn't necessarily winning in terms of quality. It is very slightly between these two cameras. One of the huge features, so one of the downsides of this Panasonic is that it doesn't track, it doesn't stay focused on me. As I come back here, I go out of focus. I have to manually focus this in at this distance, as I say, by just touching and doing it. The Canon one will track me, and as I come out and in, it does a really good job of doing that. But if I want to use it for live streaming, I need to turn that feature off and go back to a manual focus, which then kind of takes me back to that was its one strength it had over this Panasonic.
And is that whether you do HDMI or USB, or is it for both?
So it's, yeah, weirdly, if you do it on USB, and Ecamm is the only option you've got for using ESB, unless you used ABS. Even more scary. To send it out across USB like this, there is a slight drop in quality. I did just a recording the other day, and I was going, right, this is it on HDMI, this is it on USB. I'll put some up onto my page actually and just show the illustrations before and after. So on USB, you don't get this little marker come around every time you move and it goes, but you do on HDMI. So when we're saying HDMI, it's a clever way, really, but very simple for us to use something like a DSLR camera or mirrorless camera. They have a HDMI output that is designed to plug into a monitor or a TV, so you could just play back that video into it. We get these little HDMI converters because there is no HDMI input into a computer. There might be a HDMI slot, but it will be only an output.
Yeah.
So what we need to do is convert that HDMI feed into a USB one that plugs into our computer. Does that make sense?
It does make sense. Yeah. So something like there's the Camlink 4K
yes.
is one. I think you recommended that one. So this is it's like a little dongle you plug in, and then you plug your camera into that, and it kind of should appear like
but it might disconnect me.
Yeah. So, but basically, it enables you to use your camera like a webcam.
Yes, your computer just thinks you've plugged a webcam in.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah, that's cool. So yeah, that's cool. So yeah, Carrie is saying I would like the flip screen and live tracking focus as my two most important factors for a camera, and I would say it really depends. So I think it depends on what your priorities are. So I think for you, Adrian, the most important that you want to put the microphone on your camera and for that to go through HDMI. So, but if that's not your most important thing, then look at other types of cameras. She also says, so the M50 isn't great for live streaming and keeping the auto tracking. You have to go to manual setting. And I don't know what you think, Adrian, but it depends on how you do it. So if you're plugging via USB, you're okay. But if you're going to be doing it via HDMI, you're not. Have I got that right? That's
right. But then you're not getting the same slight drop in quality if you go across USB. Yeah. So it's and this is every time I seem to look at other options other than this Panasonic, I feel like I'm having to trade off, or there's a compromise somewhere.
Yeah.
So great if I'm recording and the app's really good, so I could actually sit here. I can start and stop a recording. If I'm doing a YouTube video, for instance, that isn't alive, then yeah, fantastic that it will track me. I have sort of tried to test it and move around a bit, and it does occasionally lose me and point to the back wall. I don't see a need for it. If I'm sitting here, don't get confused that this isn't manual focus, but it's not a continuous autofocus. So it isn't, when I move back, it doesn't come with me, but I can touch my screen at the side here, and it will then focus in on me, but it will stay fixed here now. So it's up to me. If I then come forwards or back, I'm going to go blurred.
Yeah, that makes sense.
But
cool.
I quite like it. I quite like the effect actually when I can come back like this, and then I can come back to this point. It's that cinematic kind of, when you go out of focus and then come back in again. So yeah, I don't like true. That I slip out, as long as it's not a mistake and the whole video is out of focus.
That makes sense. Well, we've gone way over time, but this is
Wow,
I mean, this is absolute. Well, as long as you're okay with that, I'm absolutely fine, because we've gone into so much stuff. But we've got one final thing, which is yourself. So we talked about your set, your equipment. Do you want to just briefly take us through what you mean by that? What's the third step in making our live videos look professional?
Yeah, just very conscious. Somebody can get the kit, sort the background out, and then like, now what? It is this confidence. It's being on camera, and whether that's live streaming or recorded videos. So for me, it's about remembering why you do what you do. It's getting passionate about it, and I mean, this is. I've got a card back there that says "You Rock" on the wall behind me there, and it was a card that I got off one of my customers that just said about the impact I'd had on him, and he loved my course, and I like that there, and it catches my eye now and again. It just reminds me why I'm doing this, that actually I'm helping people get over this hurdle. They want to be able to create an online course or whatever it is, but they're stuck and they can't make the videos. And for me, that's my why. That's why I'm doing what I do, and it's why I'm passionate about it. And I'm constantly, I can make a YouTube video and potentially someone watching that, because I realized talking to my customers, about 70% plus of them, when I talk to them, will say, well, the first place I saw you was on a YouTube video. And so I'm passionate about it, but I'm also very conscious that every time I go live, or I mean, this could be the case now, it might be that someone watches me now, who then kind of later down the road becomes a customer of mine. And you think it's so important that, so I've got that in my mind when I'm going live. That helps me to kind of think, right, this is important. This is why I'm doing it. I could be helping someone get across that barrier, that hurdle, and I want to get out there and help them. And I've got a little free mini course actually on how to be confident on camera. And in a nutshell, it's very much me saying, if somebody reached out to, whatever it is, maybe you do Facebook ads, somebody reaches out to you and they're saying, I'm really struggling. I can't get my head around this. I just wish I could get some help. You would naturally go, yeah, I can help you with that. Yes, absolutely. What I love doing. I know exactly where you're going wrong. And you just, it isn't about, I don't have to then, I liken it to sitting in a coffee shop. I'll say to people, imagine you're face to face, because it doesn't feel dissimilar to that. You and I sitting, I know we can see each other on here, but it doesn't feel dissimilar to that. I say, if somebody reached out to you and they said, can we meet up, and you're sitting there in the coffee shop and they're telling you all these problems and what's going wrong, and you're just lighting up because you're thinking, I know this, I can't wait to get in there and help them out with it. And it's that, if you're doing the right thing online here and you're passionate about what you do, it ought to come through like that, really. I don't have to think, oh, hang on a minute, what was I doing with my body language? And was I smiling enough? And was I looking at the camera? Or was I, because it oozes out of you. And people say that to me, you can tell you're passionate about what you do. And I think it has to come out like that. And it just, if you can get to that place of thinking, I love what I do and I know I'm helping people, then actually a lot of that fear, a lot of those barriers just fall away, because, and not worrying about ums and ers and things like that. You're just delivering and helping people on something that you're very passionate about and that well.
That's great. And you said it's gets to there. It's a journey, isn't it? The first few videos, probably the first dozen. I mean, if it's like my experience, the first dozen or so are probably going to be not that great, appalling maybe in the case of me. And there'll be mistakes, and you're and you're and then you'll suddenly start to realize actually it doesn't matter. Keep working at it, and and in terms of the camera itself, I know people can stand on stage and talk to 1,000 people, and they really struggle with talking into a camera. I start them off and just say, well, just start looking in the mirror and get used to seeing your face back. Are you smiling? Would you want to watch you type thing? And then actually just hold this camera in front of you and just talk to it. It's not even turned on, but I can look at it and just break it down. It's not some beast that's there that's, and just without turning the thing on, and then build it up in stages, record something, but only you're going to look at it. And then eventually you go live and it feels a lot easier by the time you get to that point. Oh, well, that's awesome. Well, thank you so much for all those tips. So we've talked about the set, the equipment, and then yourself, and getting all those three things focused, but don't use any of these things as an excuse not to go live. If all you can afford is like a simple webcam, just get started with that. But do download Adrian's guide, which will be the equipment list. It will be in the show notes at ieg.me/39. And it's an awesome list, and have a little play with those things. That'd be great. So how can people find out a little bit more about you? I've put all your links in the show notes. You've carelessly scattered yourself across the interwebs and social media sites. But where's a good place for people to stalk you in a good way?
To be honest, YouTube is my best platform. I'm not great on Instagram and Twitter and LinkedIn and these. I have to go, I really must put a post up there. But YouTube, people go to YouTube. I've got a whole playlist on Ecamm. I've got videos on Kajabi. I've got things about YouTube, about video. You can spend hours looking around at the videos and just learn stuff. And then actually, as you're doing it, you're starting to get to know me, because you'll realize I'm the same person, same kind of style and personality in all my videos. Do that. And then come over to Facebook. I've got a Facebook group that's open, Pro Video Made Easy. That's the place the downside with YouTube is you can't kind of, I would say like this: if people wanted to send in pictures of their set, the screenshot and say, what do you think to this? I can't do that on YouTube, but I can in a Facebook group. So by all means, come over to that group and throw something in and say, I was on Ian's show, what do you think to this? And I'll help you out with that.
That's cool. Yeah, it's not so much of a social network. So I think your channel is just Adrian Salisbury. YouTube.com/Adrian Salisbury, and all the other links will be in the show notes. Well, we're well out of time. I've had a fabulous time. You've really helped us with so many things. So thank you so much for all of that.
No, thank you.
We'll leave it there. So until next time, I encourage you all to level up your impact, authority, and profit using Confident Live Video. See you soon. Bye.
Bye.
Thanks for listening to the Confident Live Marketing Podcast with Ian Anderson Gray. Be sure to join the community at iag.me, where you can continue to level up your impact, authority, and profits through the power of live video. And until next time, toodaloo.